Today I thought it would be really nice to do a few exercises with the ball. I say a few exercises, a short video. The ball, if you don't have a ball, it doesn't matter. You just have to work a little bit harder and get up off the mat. But if you do have a ball, it's quite nice. I've had a few people mentioning about how their neck sometimes gets a little bit tight, or it's just, they're getting quite strainy in the neck. And I think it's not because they're necessarily to weaken the core, it's just sometimes the head's a little bit too far forward. So it's about trying to regain that connection with the shoulders onto your back and your head onto your back. So you're going to bring yourself down to the mat, just pop the ball to the side if you've got one, and then you're just going to settle yourself on the mat. Now, I've got a big bun behind me, which is obviously not the best idea, but so you want to try and get the back of your head connecting onto the mat, and then have your hands, move myself down, and then bring your hands behind your head. So if you're not going to be using your ball, you're going to be finding the connection with your head in your hands, and you're going to find that connection to support the head. Now, when we curl up, often we come forward with the neck, okay, and we look up towards the ceiling. But actually, I want you to push your head backwards into your hands, almost like you're not letting your neck come up, okay? So keep pushing your head backwards into your hands. As you do that, you should feel the connection with your shoulders onto your back, and then sort of where your breastbone is, but on your back, where your shoulder blades are, you should feel that connecting. And then you keep your head pushing back into your hands, and then as you keep your head pushing back into your hands, you think about your head and your hands lifting up, but actually it's not just the head pulling away from your hands, you're pushing your head back into your hands. So you feel the shoulders onto your back. And then as you lift the head, neck and shoulders up, looking into the belly, you're not letting that chin lift or you're looking up to the ceiling, you're looking into the abdominals and really finding that connection into the stomach. At the same time, your head is being supported. Okay, so your head's pushing back into your hands and your hands are back into your head. So it feels like you're really cradling that head. And then as you curl up that little bit higher, again, it's not about lifting the chin, it's about looking into the belly and really pushing the head back to lengthen through the neck and give yourself that space. And even there, I'm just shaking in my abdominals and then resting yourself all the way back down. Keep the elbows wide. And not only that, it's a really lovely stretch for the chest. Now I'm just checking that you've got your fingertips to wrists so that your fingertips to wrists connect your shoulders onto your back and you're not just letting your hands interlock and putting pressure on that neck. That's the worst thing you can do for any neck strain. And again, you're going to push your head backwards towards the floor, almost like you're trying to not let your body lift your head. And then you're going to curl up and look into the belly. Keep looking into the belly, keep looking into the belly. And then resting yourself back down. One more time. And again, curl the head, neck and shoulders up, looking into the belly. Reaching out through the crown of the head, looking into the belly. Now from here, making sure that the back of the hips are heavy, the shoulders are heavy, you're not straining through the front of the neck. You could actually stay here forever and you actually feel like you're a lot more connected into your stomach. So any of the abs exercises that we're going to be doing today, I want you to find that connection and then bring yourself back down. Now I'm going to do one more. If you do have your ball, you pop your ball in between your shoulder blades and it kind of gives you that lift into the abdominals, okay? It's less pressure onto your head and your neck and it gives you that little crunch. So where you have the ball, you sort of have it in between your shoulder blades and you curl up and look into the belly. Now this is going to be a little bit easier, so watch that you're not pulling again through the neck and watch that you're not pressing down through that neck. Actually, sometimes it can be better just with the hands. And then you're curling up and looking into the belly. Now from that position, if you've got the ball behind you or your hands behind your head, whichever you're at, bring one leg in and then the other leg in and hug the inside thighs together like crazy. Hug the inside thighs together and straighten the legs out. And then bend the knees and come back in. Now as the knees come in, often we start to hang back, okay? We start to get tired in the body and then it strains through the neck. So that's why if your neck starts to strain at the end of it, you want to lift up into it, which is gonna hurt into your stomach more, okay? And then reach the legs out. And then hug the legs as you come in towards the body. And legs out, really supporting the head. Make sure you're not crushing that head. And then bring the knees into the body. Even if you haven't got that ball, it's the same idea. You're getting a nice little workout into those abs. Two more. And in. Last one. And in. And then place one foot down and then the other. If you've got that ball, you get that nice reach back and you just open your chest. And if you've just got your hands behind your head, you just rest your head down. Now I want you to curl up and look into the belly. Keep the feet down for the moment. Okay, challenging your body on the lift. So ball or no ball, I really want you to think nose towards your belly. Okay, then you reach your arms down by your side and keep reaching through the fingertips. Reaching through the fingertips helps lift you up. Okay, I'm going to keep my hands behind my head, but keep reaching through your fingertips. As you keep reaching through your fingertips, you're going to curl up a little bit higher. Now reach it out. Now you start pumping those arms, breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe out, you reach through the fingertips and curl up a little bit higher. Again, thinking nose towards the belly. Inhale. Exhale. You should really be feeling that abdominal burn. Inhale. Exhale. If you haven't got the ball, you can keep your hands behind your head and just breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Use that to curl up a little bit higher. Inhale. Exhale. You got 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Exhale. And then resting yourself all the way down. And my abdominals are on fire. Okay. So that works the upper abdominals. We want to get a little bit more work in the lower abdominals because often that's the one that we find a little bit trickier. Now with the lower abdominals, I'm always saying tailbone down, tailbone down, tailbone down. So you're really aware of the tailbone down all the time. But what I actually want you to do is bring your hands into a diamond shape and bring your hands behind the back of your sacrum. So your sacrum is the flat part of your pelvis. So you keep your the weight of your hips pressing onto your sacrum and then bring the knees into the chest. Now as you do that, as the knees come in, the bum's going to want to lift off. So you keep the tailbone pressing down. As you press the tailbone down, you should find a deeper connection into your abdominals. Now you keep that connection and you press your elbows into the mat and you press your tailbone down, so you keep that. If you've got that ball, you can place the ball underneath the sacrum and you don't have to press into the hands, you can just press into the ball. Okay, now keeping that tailbone down, you're going to bring your legs up into tabletop. Now your hands are on the mat or your arms are extended down. Now you're going to extend those legs out and away from you, and then you're going to bring your knees in. Now as you bring your knees in, we tend to lift and tilt the pelvis, okay? So the ball's going to really give you that awareness, and if you've got your hands, you've got the awareness from your bum lifting away from your hands. And again, press out through the legs. And really think pressing the tailbone down and drawing your knees back in, and it really finds that deeper lower connection into your abdominals. And again, pressing the legs out, hug the back of the legs together, and then bending the knees, bringing the knees back in. Notice how I'm not letting my pelvis tilt or lift my bum up. And again, pressing it out, and then bending the knees as you come back in. And again, pressing it out, and then bending the knees as you come back in. And again, pressing it out, bending it as you come back in. 2 more. Keep the focus on the tailbone pressing down. Legs out and inner is an easy exercise to master, but what's hard and the challenge is keeping that tailbone down and keeping your abs engaged. Bring your legs together. Keep your arms pressing strongly into the mat. Now watch again, the hips don't tip. Press that tailbone down. Pull the stomach in. Hug the inside thighs as you press the legs out. And then bend the knees as you hug the knees together and come back in. So this is a really strong ab workout. Okay, making sure that you're not taking any tension into your shoulders or neck. You don't have to be curled up. You need to focus on the tailbone pressing down, the hug of the inside thighs, pressing into your hands, pressing into your ball, whichever one you've got. 2 more. Last one. Little shakes going on with me. And then on the last one, hold it out. Now, if your rib cage starts to pull away, you've got to connect your stomach a little bit deeper. And then you point and flex the feet. Point, flex, point, flex. Keep the arms pressing down. Keep the shoulders down. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And then hug the legs. And then come all the way back in. Just bring the knees in. If you've got your ball or your hands, you just take that out. If you've got your ball, pop it in between your knees and place the feet strongly into the mat. If you don't have your ball, your legs are hugging together strongly. Now make sure you've got nothing behind the back of your head. Shoulder bridge, really focus on the heels connecting. As your heels connect into the mat, you find that little connection with your glutes. You tip the hips towards you and you start to peel your spine all the way up off the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep lifting the hips and reaching out through the front of the knees. And then soften as you roll all the way down. Now, hopefully having connected that tailbone down onto your hands and the ball, you really find that extra lift as you lift your bum up. And again, press through the big toe knuckles, pressing through the heels. It should feel a lot more open in the lower back, and you should get a nice deep stretch through the front of the hips. And then soften as you roll all the way back down. Keeping your legs hugging and keeping the hug on the ball keeps the hug at the midline and connects into your abdominals a little bit more. 2 more. And then down. Last one. And then on the last one, as you come all the way up, keep the hips lifted. Hug the inside thighs a little bit more. Press through the heels and lift the hips. And again, hug the inside thighs, press through the heels and lift the hips. You get that lovely stretch open through the front of the hips. And again, hug the inside thighs, press through the heels, and you get that connection into your bum. And then you keep that, try and keep the bum lifted as you roll all the way down into the mat with control, and then relax it off. And then bring yourself up into a seated position. Keep the ball if you've got the ball. If you've just got your legs, you're hugging your legs. And you're going to bring your hands behind the back of the knees. Now round the back, look into the belly. Hug the inside thighs, hug the ball. Start to roll yourself back towards the mat. As you hug the inside thighs, you draw into your abs a little bit more. Okay? Now that hug of the inside thighs pulls into the abs a little bit deeper. To come back up, watch we don't pull through the hands or lift through the chest. Okay, you squeeze the ball. You can also reach your hands out in front of you, don't trust yourself. You squeeze the ball, you squeeze your inside thighs, you pull your stomach in towards the mat, you pull your stomach in, you keep pulling your stomach in, you keep pulling your stomach in, and you use that to come all the way back up. So you're really starting to channel your inside thighs and your abdominals and connecting all of the two together without using your shoulders. So how often do we try and roll back up and throw ourselves up from our shoulders and our chest? So keep that hug. Rounding, look into the belly. Light hands just stops those shoulders creeping up to the ears. Hug the inside thighs. Now, if you want to challenge it, absolutely go all the way down into the mat. But watch when you come up, you're not going to throw yourself. Okay, I don't want you throwing yourself to come all the way up. Hug the inside thighs, pull the stomach in. Hug the inside thighs, pull the stomach in, and start to bring yourself all the way up. And it is a burner for the abs. And again, hug the inside thighs. Tap the tailbone. Start to roll yourself back. Now we're going to roll back and hold it back halfway. Hold it there. Little pulses, either legs or the ball, whichever you've got. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower an inch and hold. Oh, this is such a burner. And again, 5. It really connects into the abs. Make sure you're not taking it into the shoulders. If you are, just come up a little bit higher. 2, 1, and lower. Last one. 5, pull into the stomach. Hold onto the back of the legs so you're not using the shoulders or the neck. 2, 1, and then roll all the way down. If you notice that you're taking the tension into your shoulders, do just hold onto the back of the legs, okay? The whole idea is that this session releases that tension in the shoulders and doesn't have, that you don't have the need to pull into the neck and the shoulders. So holding onto the back of the legs, curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, look into the belly. As you do that, really pull through the back of the legs to help lift you. Squeeze the inside thighs, squeeze the ball, and climb like you're walking up the back of the legs. Pull the stomach in, and then bring yourself all the way up. One more time, inch by inch, back down to the mat. Holding onto the back of the legs, hug the inside thighs, draw the stomach in. Draw the stomach in as you start to roll back to the mat. Hold it there. Now remember, if at any point it gets too much, just take your time and take yourself down to the mat. Squeeze and hold. And then squeeze and hold as you roll down. Hold it there. Keep holding onto the back of the legs so the shoulders aren't kicking in. Make sure the shoulder blades are down your back. And lower an inch and hold. You should feel a little bit more connected. Draw the stomach in. And then lower all the way down to the mat and take yourself down. One more time, bring yourself all the way up. Curl it up. Walk your hands up the back of the thighs. Look into the belly. Think of that curl that we did at the very beginning. And this is where you bring the curl into it. So imagine that ball's behind you. Imagine your hands are behind you, giving you that support. So rather than it being a lift and a strain through the front of the neck and lifting from the shoulders, you curl in and look into the belly. Hold it there. Breathe out, pull the stomach in, curl in and look into the belly. Breathe in, breathe out, curl in and look into the belly. Hold it there. One more time. Squeeze the inside thighs, squeeze the ball and come all the way up. Oh, getting warm. Roll yourself down into the mat with control. Bring yourself onto your side. And you can either support the head pushing back into the hand here, or you can keep the head rested down, whichever one works for you. Now, all the time, we're making sure that we've got the length in the waist, and your heels are together and your toes are apart. If you've got the ball in between your knees, and then you're just gonna lift it out and take it out and just pop it to the side. If you don't, you just obviously don't take it. Press the heels together strongly. Reach out through the front of that knee. Okay, think of the shoulder bridge that we were doing earlier, where you were pressing your heels together into the mat to connect into the bum to lift. Now press to lift, and then press to lower. And again, press to lift, and then press to lower. Now all the time, I want you pressing the heels together to keep that connection into the glutes. You've got 5 more. 4 more. Watch you don't get into your hamstrings as well. Make sure you're not taking the tension into your legs. And then on the last one, rest the knees down. Lift the heels up. As you do that, again, the hip reaches away. Press the heels together, lift it up. And press the heels to lower. And then press the heels to lift. If you've got your ball, you can actually use it as a little cushion. And then lower. And again, press to lift. Now really make sure those heels are pressing against one another. The bottom one's up and the top one's down. 2 more. Last one. And then bring it all the way down. Bring the ball in between the ankle bones and lie yourself down on the mat. If you haven't got your ball, you've just got your heels pressing together. That heel connection that we just were using, they're going to use that now, whether or not you've got the ball or not. Now watch that you don't let your legs completely turn out and your hips open and pop. You want to hug the inside thighs together. Use your hands softly in front of you onto the mat. And hug the inside thighs to lift the legs and then lower back down. Now, often when we do this, we really push down through our hand to try and get up as high as we can, and the tension goes straight up into the neck and the shoulders. That's not what I want. So I want you to press the hand into the mat, roll the shoulder onto your back, and find that connection with your shoulder onto your back. Now, keeping that connection, hug the inside thighs to lift, and then lower it back down. Now, when you think of the lift, don't think how high, think how long and how far away you can reach. Hug, and then lower back down. Now, if you've got the ball, it can be a little bit easier to find a connection with your heels because you've got that tactile feedback of the ball. And if you don't, you just got to press those heels together that little bit harder. And then down. See, I'm not going very high, but I tell you, my inside thighs are on fire. And then down, and actually my waist. I've got my waist kicking in as well. And my shoulder connected onto my back. And then come all the way down. Give yourself a little rest. Make sure you haven't taken any tension into your neck or your shoulders. And then press and roll the shoulders onto your back again. Shoulder, top shoulder. Press through the little finger. As you press through the little finger, that connects straight into our back. Okay, so press through the little finger and you'll really find that connection and lengthen out through the legs. Now hold the legs up, or if it's too much to hold it up, keep them on the mat. And little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then lower all the way down. Bring the knees in and sit yourself up, and then sit round and go to the other side. Make sure your ball's to hand because you'll need it in a sec. So you can either support the head with the hand, heels together, toes apart, lengthen out long, press the heels together. As you press the heels together, you lift up. And then press the heels to lower. Now really push that head back into your hand and keep the eyes forward if you can. Try to not look at your feet because it puts tension into the neck, and we're trying to take the tension out the neck. Press the heels to lift, and then press the heels to lower, and then press the heels to lift, and press the heels to lower. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And then lift the feet, press the heels together. Notice how your hip hasn't rolled in. Keep the heels together and then lower the knee. Press the heels together and lift the knee. Press the heels together and lower. Press the heels together and lift. Press the heels together and lower. And press the heels together and lift. You got 3 more. Little burner. The bottom glute is still burning. 3 more. Make sure you're pushing the bottom one up. 2 more. Press the heels against one another. Last one. And then lower all the way down. Grab your ball, pop it in between your ankle bones, and then get long. Now, reaching out through the legs, hug the inside thighs. Rest the head on the arm, or keep your head there, and then press your hand strongly into the mat. Press your hand and lift it up, and then lower back down. Now remember what I said about those heels. Think about the heels pressing together, and then relaxing the shoulders. Press the heels to lengthen away. Think about the legs being pulled out of the body, and then lower back down. And again, press the heels, lengthen. If at any point, rest the head down if it's not comfortable with the hand behind the head, and then back down. And you also can put 2 hands if you want to challenge yourself, and then back down. One more time, lift it up, hold it there, little pulses. 5, get longer. 4, you can really feel it in that waist. The longer you get, 3, 2, 1, and then lower all the way down. Keep the length, keep reaching out through the legs. Hug the inside thighs, lengthen and lift. Hold it there, get longer, hold it there, get longer, hold it there, get longer, and then lower all the way down into the mat. Bend the knees in, take the ball out, and then roll onto your back. Now, on your back, pop the ball back in between the shoulder blades. And if you haven't got the ball, then just put your hands behind your head. And then take a little rest if you got the ball, and then curl the head, neck, and shoulders up wherever you're at with your hands behind your head. Now bring the knees into the chest. This is the ab series, but we've got that extra support from the head. So keep the tailbone pressing down. Now we've got the awareness of the tailbone, keep the tailbone down, and keep the head supported. Now you're going to extend the right leg out, and then come back in. Now, if you've got the ball, this might feel a little bit easier on the abs. So you just curl up. Think about coming off the ball as you extend the leg out, and that connects into the abs as you are. Now, if you're not on the ball, you're going to be feeling this anyway, so do not worry. 5 more. But the ball actually helps you curl in a little bit more. Not only does it help you get that curl in so that when you come off the ball, you can feel that connection, but it helps support the neck and take the tension out of your shoulders by supporting your back and strengthening your core. And then bring the legs in, and then bring the feet in, and take a little rest if you're on your ball. A rest over, or take a rest wherever, and then curl up and look into the belly. Now hold it there. Bring both the legs into the chest. Now this is obviously more intense because you've got both legs out. We did something similar at the beginning. Both legs out, hold it there. Curl up off the ball, curl up off the floor, and then knees part as they come into your armpits. Press the heels as they go out, and then bring the knees in as they come in. Inhale, legs out. Exhale, come back in. As you come back in, even I'm sinking back into the ball, so it's actually a really good indication of where we get a little bit lazy when our legs come in. I'm happily going back. So that's when it starts to pull into the neck. So as the legs come in, I want you to really think curl into it, curl into it, curl into it, and legs out. And curl into it, curl into it, curl into it, and out. One more time. Into it, into it, into it, and then rest all the way back and get a lovely stretch through the chest. Okay, getting really warm here. Curl up, look into the belly. Scissors. Now, there are 2 options here. Scissors with the ball behind, and then legs up to the ceiling, hold onto the back of the legs, and you're switching the legs. Or you can also keep your head down and bring your hands behind the back of the sacrum like we did earlier, and then you just scissor your legs like this. Okay, I'm going to do the ball, so whichever one you're doing, work out which one works better for you. Curl up, look into the belly, think up off the mat, up off the ball, pull the leg in, pull, pull, pull the abs in and switch, pull, pull, Pull the abs in and switch. Pull, pull. 5 more. Obviously, if you've got your hands behind your sacrum, you're just doing this with your legs. 2 more. Last one. And then bringing the knees in and taking yourself back. Wherever you're at, bring your hands behind your head and support the head. Curl the head, neck and shoulders up and look into the belly, ball behind or not. Bring the knees into the chest, legs up to the ceiling. Press the heels together and lower the legs away. Now press the heels together strongly, draw the stomach in and bring the legs back in. Focusing on that tailbone. Tailbone stays down. And again, lower the legs. Push the bum down into the mat and draw it in. Now I appreciate legs straight can be quite hard, so I don't mind if the legs are bent, but make sure you move from your hip socket rather than just letting it swing from the front of your legs, okay? 2 more. And then in. 1 more. And then in. And then bend the knees and take a little rest. Open up that chest if you're on the ball, or just rest into the mat if you're not. From there, crisscross. Favorite one, gets into the waist, gets into the obliques, gets into the stomach, gets into the abs. Everything, there's no missing this one. So curl the head, neck and shoulders up, look into the belly. Now often with the crisscross, we do take the tension into our shoulders because we're so focused on throwing ourselves from one side to the other. So the ball is a really good indicator. Now everyone keep your feet on the floor, hug the inside thighs together. And you're just going to think about the elbows opening as wide as they can as you twist to one side and look back into the back armpit. And the elbows open wide as you twist to the other side. Open the elbows wide. And then open the elbows wide as you come into center. Now if you're on the ball, it's going to give you a real indicator if you're just throwing yourself from side to side because you're going to be wobbling like crazy through that ball. And if you're off the ball, you've got to just think about keeping those elbows wide so you're not just letting yourself crumple onto the floor. And then center. So you're really supporting the head in the hands. You're hugging the legs together like we did at the very beginning. As we did at the very beginning, that ball, those legs hugging together. The more you hug them, the more you'll keep the hips stable and the hips still, and it will connect into your abdominals. And you might not twist as much, but that doesn't matter because then it's a correct rotation through that body. Last one. And then come all the way in and then take a little rest back wherever you're on ball or off the ball. Bring yourself up into a seated position. Now from there, pop your ball to the side. Reach the legs out long, sitting up tall. As you sit up tall, keep the legs reaching. Keep the legs reaching and sit up even taller. Now reach the legs out and then think about the stomach pulling in. We have the stomach pulling in towards the mat with the ball, and I want you to lift up and dive forward, okay? Now, if you've got the ball, you can put it there and you can press it into your stomach. So it gives you that visualization of going up and over rather than just collapsing and letting it go into our shoulders. And if you don't have the ball, you can just wrap your arms around your waist, okay? So pressing into the ball, pull the stomach back, lift up, dive forward, and get the forehead coming towards the knees. As you press your hands into your stomach, into the ball, you're pulling the shoulder blades down your back and pulling your elbows back behind you. And you feel a lovely opening into your back. Pull the stomach in, and then sit all the way back up, maintaining the pressure through the hands. And again, pull the hands in, dive the forehead down towards the knees. As you do so, keep pulling the hands in. You should feel that kick back into the stomach. Keep the hands pushing into the stomach. Keep the hands pushing into the bowl. Pull the stomach back, push the hands in, and restack the spine. Come all the way up. Keep those feet flexed, keep sitting up tall. 2 more. And again, chin to the chest. Dive it forward, pulling the stomach in. Reaching it back. Elbows wide to the side. Pull the stomach, pull the stomach, pull the stomach. And then restack to come all the way up. Last one, chin to the chest, dive the forehead down, pull the stomach back. And then pull the stomach back as you come all the way up. So again, using that tactile feedback of the hands, the ball, whatever you've got, it really gives you that awareness of your abs and of your straightening your legs as well. So holding onto that ball or the hands, and then just roll all the way down into the mat. turning over onto your front. As you turn over onto your front, think of the length through the legs. Pop the ball to the side and just rest your forehead on your hands. In this exercise, we always pull the shoulder blades up to your ears. So think of that press that you've just had with your hands into your stomach or your hands onto the ball, and press the hands firmly into the mat. As you do that, it pulls the shoulder blades down your back and it pulls the head out of the spine. So it's a sort of press of the hands into the mat, the pop of the head off the spine, the pull of the shoulder blades down your back. You're pressing into your elbows, you're lifting the chest, and the shoulders are away from your ears, and you're lowering back down. And again, roll the shoulders, press through the hands, pull the shoulder blades down your back. You should really feel the backs of the shoulders working. Pop the head off the spine. Keep the legs glued together. Don't forget that hug that we found. And then come back down. 2 more. And again, lengthen, pop the head off the spine. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. Hug those elbows into that mat. Pull the stomach in. Reach out longer. Lift up taller. And then coming back down. Last one. You should really work the backs of the shoulders, the arms. And then lengthen. As you push the hands into the mat, you connect the shoulders onto your back a little bit more. Keep pressing, keep pressing, keep pressing, and pull the elbows tightly into your rib cage as you press out through the forearms. Lengthen, lift the collarbones, and then you're going to kick one foot into the bum 3 times. Kick, kick, and reach it away. Really pulling those elbows tight. Kick, kick, and reaching away. 3 more. Kick, kick, and reaching away. 2 more. Kick, kick, and reaching away. Last set. Kick, kick, and reaching away. You're pulling your stomach in. Kick, kick, and reaching away. And then lower all the way down. Push yourself back into a child's pose. And we are done. Just let the hips rock from side to side, opening up that lower back. And then slide yourself all the way up into a seated position. So hopefully really helpful session, using the ball, not using the ball, whatever you've got, but really connecting into the abs a little bit more, into the inner thighs, which is known as the midline, and also not only that, really teaching us to not use our shoulders and kick up into the neck as well. So have a great week, and I will see you guys later. Bye.